Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mikey.
And over there is our gracious tech op,
Leehee Teehee.
That's not my name.
And we are Inner Psycho.
Now, today we're going over the movie Smile, released in 2022. But before we get into it, there are some touchy subjects in this movie, including, and not limited to, mental illness, death, animal cruelty, drug abuse, and childhood trauma.
Now, we will also disclaim that there will be spoilers.
Watch the movie yourself. It's on most streaming platforms, and you can, if you have Amazon Prime, watch it for free. That's how I watched it.
Yeah.
Well, besides seeing it in the movie theaters on Halloween when it came out.
Bragger.
Man, I was broken up with, so it's not really a brag.
Before we get started, would you like to give us a quick rundown of the movie?
Of course. So, Smile was, of course, released in the year 2022 in October. It was directed by a first-time film director, Parker Finn, who worked on a few short films before this.
This was like his debut movie as a director of like a full-time, like what's the word? A full-length film.
Yes.
First try.
You could have said movie.
But like short films are also movies.
They're
Fair
just
enough.
short movies.
Yeah.
Smile was released in the year 2022 in October, and it was the film debut of one Parker Finn, who previously worked on a few short films, but this movie really did well in the box office, and basically, personally, I think it's going to mean that he's going to make a lot of terribly amazing movies.
Yeah.
Terrible in the good way, and it will probably make me...
Jump out of my skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Bugs are in your skin. Bugs are in your skin. Bugs are in your skin.
Anyways. So, the protagonist of Smile is Rose, and she works at this mental institute. It's kind of like a walk-in clinic. If you need help, or, cops say you need help, they just bring you there.
Yeah.
And one day, this very schizophrenic acting girl comes in and offs herself in front of Rose.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to touch on too much of the movie yet, so you can watch it and then come back to the podcast maybe, basically a curse is put on her, and it's like a spiral down into hell.
Pretty much.
Until, the ending happens, which this is your warning. If you want to watch the movie,
Spoilers.
leave now, because we're about to
Spoil
dive
this
deep.
whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
First of all, what's your personal opinion of the movie?
I personally loved it. I really like that there's a lot of mental illness and childhood trauma being touched on in a way that is...
I love childhood trauma.
Well,
Applause.
I forgot what I was going to say. Thanks.
Hey, it was a funny, okay?
funny.
It was a funny.
But it touches on childhood trauma and touches on mental illness in a way that is very believable. It's not romanticized. It's very down to earth and natural, and
Especially with everybody leaving her.
yeah, like the depression part of it specifically, something that I deal with heavily. It's very, oh hey, I can relate to this, and it's not like, oh, that doesn't happen. It's like, wow, this really happens.
Now, call me a stereotypical horror fan, but I think the best part of this movie is the monsters. I personally believe that the Smile demon, parasite, whatever it is, hell, it could be real schizophrenia, but I think it's portrayed really well. You are able to perfectly visualize her demons with what she sees. Like, in the final part of the movie, her mom, how demonic she looks while still, looking like her mother.
Yeah.
It's weird, it's creepy. It seems like something that someone having a schizophrenic episode might actually experience, albeit I am no doctor, so I ain't got an idea about that.
And that's why we would classify this as being
psychological horror.
Yeah, psychological horror.
It's not
because,
really explained to you.
Yeah, you don't know what the entity is. You don't know if it's actual schizophrenia. You don't know if it's
A demon, paradise,
or
illness,
a parasite.
a curse.
A curse.
So, another thing I would like to touch on is the slow leaving of everything that brings Rose joy in her life.
Yeah.
It started off, small. She was forced on vacation away from her job, which is basically one of the only things she does.
Yeah. As she descends more into the madness, she tells her either fiance or boyfriend at the time.
Husband at the time.
She tells her husband at the time that, like, what she's dealing with, and he leaves her too because he thinks that she has lost her mind.
And before that, she lost 2 things that brought her joy.
R.I.P. mustache.
Her nephew, and in the same day, at the same place, her poor cat mustache.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, mustache.
I kind of expected it because, like, the cat was gone, and she's having those manic episodes.
Yeah.
You know that normally happens in films. There was some cliche things in the movie, but at the same time, like, they put it in a different light than usual, and that made it so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a horror movie. There's always cliches you follow. Jump
that's
scares, sudden loud noises.
especially in psychological horror, with not showing who is the monster.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that the monster attaches to someone else after they witness somebody off themselves in front of them.
Well, at least they're happy during it. I mean, they always have that terrible grin on their face. It's so unnerving and so good. Like,
Yeah.
there was a previous movie called Truth or Dare, made by Blumhouse, and it sucked. I hate it. It's genuinely looked like they used the Snapchat filter to do the smile.
Well, now we know what movie we're not doing.
Yeah. Blumhouse, Jason Blum might come after me for saying this, but don't watch Truth or Dare. It's terrible.
Don't watch it. It's such a bad. I've never seen it. I'm just agreeing.
I watched some of it.
Oh.
I agree it wasn't the best.
Well, then again, there's like hundreds of Truth or Dare movies.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
There was like the series one.
Oh.
It was weird.
All right, we're getting off topic.
Nightmare Mom.
Smiles.
Nightmare Mom.
Smiles. We'll get to Nightmare Mom shortly. Anyways, I love how they.
I love how they do that too.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite part.
That's my favorite part.
See, Nightmare Mom.
That's my favorite.
Okay, we're going to take it seriously in 3,
2.
2.
That's my favorite.
Now we're going to touch on the main antagonist in the final segment of the movie,
Nightmare Mom.
Nightmare Mom. First off, I love her design. Her smile is so much more unnerving than all the rest.
Yeah, she's got like this huge, like whole face smile with all the teeth.
Her body's contorting. It shows that it's the final stage. This is nearing the end. She either has gone fully insane or is facing the worst demon.
Yeah, this is the boss.
Sure, that's one way to
And the boss, spoilers, this boss gets her.
Mm-hmm.
Crawls inside her mouth. Her mom. Oh, it's such a good one. This is what I'm so passionate about.
So, I'm going to give y'all a little context on what she said instead of just mom crawling in daughter's mouth.
Oh.
So,
Demonstrate.
Wee. No, you have to like put your whole face.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, Nightmare Mom is basically Rose is stuck in her childhood home with the thing that has been, with her.
Tormenting her.
I'm just going to call it Thing.
The Thing. No, that's already a movie.
That's already a amazing movie. The best movie
The Parasite.
of all time. That's also a movie. We're just gonna
Dang
say Thing.
it.
We're just gonna say Thing because there's not a horror movie just called Thing.
All right, Thing.
Okay, so this thing basically is tormenting Rose. Okay, and she thinks she has the upper hand. Okay, she manages to catch it on fire. Mom is burning. She escapes the house, goes home with her ex, which she's still technically married.
Yeah, but
Very
she
fun.
gets out of the house, she goes home to her ex, and then
Oops.
everything.
He was all alive.
Yeah, everything changes, and she's back in the house, and she just gives up at this point. At this point, she's like, well, clearly I don't know what's real and what's fake. Her ex goes to the house. She doesn't know if that's really her ex or if it's the thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And then
She turns
Also,
around and runs back
when she
inside.
runs back in the house, it's not on fire. That was also in her head. The
Yeah.
fire.
the fire was all in her head, and
For now.
she gives up. She just sits there and looks at the nightmare.
As it rips back the mother facade and shows this weird fleshy monster with eyes and teeth all over, and God, I love it.
It is such a great design.
I am not a fan of completely computer generated creatures,
However,
That one wasn't that bad.
but
this one was
beautiful,
and it was freaky, it was scary, it was the whole 9 yards of what I personally love.
Then it
Opens her mouth,
and crawls
inside of her, and now she is the person that needs to transfer this parasite.
But the thing is, she already did because the ex witnessed her burn herself to death.
Yeah, so she kills herself, and it is now transferred to her ex, who
Which now
there probably will be a second movie, which hopefully there is, because that would be amazing. Maybe they can
Honestly,
actually get the parasite.
I have to disagree with you. I don't think there should be a movie. For sequels can sometimes drag down the original, albeit there's sometimes where it can make it better, like Friday 13th. Its first movie was amazing, and its sequel brought it up. But
if you
in
think,
this, I think a more anthology style should take place with this director's future.
but
for-
if there is a second movie, if there is a part 2, we might know more about the demon. We might know if it is just passing on schizophrenia, if it all was just in Rose's head, or if it's actually some demon thing that they can fight.
Don't know if you can fight demons.
Have you ever watched The Exorcist?
Yes, I've watched The Exorcist. I saw a priest die down
You can,
the stairs.
or I guess I meant no. Well, hang on. The Conjuring. That's what I meant. The Conjuring. You ever watched The Nun? The Conjuring. You can fight demons. Annabelle. Oh.
Anyways,
What about Ed
so,
and Lorraine Warren? Oh.
anyways,
They fight demons. That's like their whole.
anyways. What were you gonna say?
I just would like to switch the topic back over to Nightmare Mom really quickly. Not like I'm trying to be obsessed with Nightmare Mom.
You
It's
are
just.
really in love with Nightmare Mom.
It's just the
You
fact
just wanna
that
make out with
it's just the
mommy.
fact that the mom is the entity that got her. That is what made her shut down, and her mom is what gave her all the childhood trauma. And I just think that it's like a full circle almost. Like she watched her mom die. She saw her mom,
Yeah, that part is
Overdose.
played out really well.
and then the fact that she's back in that house where she saw all that happen. The fact that her mother is there as a demon or whatever, and that is the entity that makes her snap. She saw all different kinds of people that were portrayed by the entity, and her mother is the one that got her.
Now, on a similar topic about the childhood trauma caused by mom, her sister, albeit, seems like a snobbish, terrible, annoying character. Not a terrible person,
Just
albeit I disagree. I think snobbish people are horrible.
However, that is how she copes. They both
Yes.
cope differently, and that is how the sister copes with dealing with the same thing Rose dealt with.
Because the older sister had to leave. I mean, she got out the house, but she didn't escape her trauma.
Yeah. She tried to, and that's why she has that snobby facade. That's why she has that big house. That's why she,
As a hunky husband that I love.
Whoa!
okay, but that is how she copes, you know, like.
Yeah.
Whereas Rose never really coped. She has therapy, but
she more helps others instead of helping herself.
She helps others because helping others helps her. And for her sister, just forgetting about it completely, or at least pretending to forget about it.
Until, you know, Rose starts going insane, which brings back some trauma.
Yeah.
Especially the dead cat.
Look, okay.
In a box given to her nephew.
Okay, this is also a weird thing that I am still confused about. So, this thing, whatever it is, it can interact with the real world and the people in it. But it also can't?
It can interact with the person that it's latched onto, but other people can't see it, other people can't touch it.
I think it's more of it chooses how it happens rather than, hey, these people can touch me now and can't touch me later.
I can decide to kill a cat now or later.
Yeah, like it interacts with.
Like it.
It's like it can only interact with the person that it's latched to and the people around the person that like the cat, or maybe it can just interact with animals and the person it's latched to.
Specifically hates animals, which.
Poor mustache.
Poor mustache.
Got the butt of this situation.
So, another thing I just want to bring up, since we've been talking about childhood trauma, that poor little boy, he is not going to have a good childhood. Like, he, after seeing his aunt with the dead corpse of a cat fall into a glass table.
Not to mention, it was his birthday. He opened a box to find a dead little mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it supposed to be like a train set?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he loves Thomas. I can agree with that because I grew up with Thomas.
You love Thomas. Thomas lover. You
Anyways.
want Thomas to...
And then later in the movie, okay, this might sound bad, but it kind of made me laugh. After Rose gets, jump scared by the fake version of her sister breaking her neck, in front of the car. It cuts to the little boy looking out the window, seeing Rose just having a panic attack.
And he's just over there like...
He's just traumatized. The worst part is, he's going to have to go to his aunt's funeral.
And lots of therapy.
That's going to mess him up.
Yeah.
That kid's not... that kid's trauma.
The whole sister snapping her neck thing. I mean, granted, it was the entity, but like.
It wasn't really snapping neck. It was more.
No, it was more of a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it swung all the way down.
Yeah, but her neck got long. I was like.
Which I have to say, in the theater on Halloween. Oh God, it was terrible.
That's what they used to advertisement.
Yeah, that's the sad thing though. It was spoiled because of the trailers.
Lucky for me, I don't watch trailers. I hate trailers.
Oh, I saw it so many times, and I was like,
But the only reason it ended up getting me though, while I was watching the movie, was because I didn't know when it was coming.
Yeah.
I saw how it looked, and I was like, oh god, and I covered up my eyes.
In an interview we watched that was behind the scenes of Making Smile, the director said that.
Then again, I haven't had a panic attack in a long time, nor have I ever had a 90-minute long one.
I have a panic attack every time I wake up.
But is it 90 minutes long?
I would hope not.
Exactly.
Also, the actor who plays Rose's ex says that Laura seems animal-like in the beginning before she dies.
Yeah.
And
she slowly becomes more feral.
Yeah, she's less human.
Which makes sense.
Because, as you're getting closer and closer to death, you're less, thinking. You're more...
stable.
You're more trying to survive.
Yeah, she's headed...
Your survival instincts are kicking in.
Definitely headed in a downward spiral. Like imagine having a sweater that is crocheted or knitted just pulling it out until it's this little tiny piece and it just flies away in the wind is basically Rose's mental state at this point.
It's gone.
It is
Which
gone.
is why it's weird, because the whole thing about it being psychological horror, you don't know if the ending's real, because you're seeing stuff that is insane.
You don't know if anything is real, honestly. This could all just be a dream, because in the movie, Rose falls asleep in her car and she has this vivid dream, this vivid nightmare that she is killing someone in order to pass on the entity to someone else.
And then, her boss rips off his face in front of her.
And then
and laughs.
Then Rose wakes up and her boss is at the door, of her car, and
Worried
he's like,
about her.
"What are you doing here? You're not supposed to be at work."
And then sees the knife.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
she goes away now.
Basically, the final push away of someone that cares about her besides her ex.
Yeah. It's like she works in a place where she needs to be now, where she doesn't believe she needs to be there because it's something that is haunting her. But everyone else believes, hey, maybe you've spent too much time with the people that you're working with. Maybe you need to be in the hospital getting therapy. And I think that's really interesting. Anyways, this has been Inner Psycho.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Mikey, signing off.
Bye!